I'm Timur, Civan, cinematographer, and this is The Lighting Plan, a show about one thing: how the best in this industry use light. Each episode, I bring in a cinematographer or photographer whose work simply speaks for itself. We talk about their process, and then they prove it. One setup, start to finish, with you, the viewer, along for the ride. My first guest is Andrew Eccles, a celebrity portrait photographer with over 30 years of iconic work behind him. Let's get into it. The Lighting Plan is made possible by GVM.
I'm Andrew Eccles, photographer, and I'm here in Joshua Tree, photographing Jesse Dvorak of Blood, Nebraska. Today we're going to be blending studio lighting with available daylight. And this is something that I like to do and have done throughout my career. Not because I don't like daylight by itself, but I like the quality of studio lighting on my subject blended with daylight on a background. Today we're going to be using the GVM AIO 1200. The nice thing about this light is it's a continuous light versus a strobe, which I'll talk about in a second, but the continuous light is something that I can see and craft as I move it around my subject and blend it with the existing light. What you see is what you get. You can actually paint the light onto the subject and see exactly what you're doing as you're doing it. Jesse, let's move you. You're gonna be in the sun. That's okay, because the sun's gonna be gone in a minute, right around there. Perfect. All right, time to add the light. So this is just about perfect. The sun's dropping past the horizon right as I speak. And what's going to happen is we're going to be able to use our light to match and equal the daylight in the dusk. And there'll be a point where it is actually a little bit brighter than, so we're going to get that quality of studio light on our subject rather than just the existing daylight. It'll give me the ability also to darken the background a little bit, which you'll see in the end result can look very beautiful. So come a little closer to my light. Yep. And I'm going to back you up a little bit, a little more. Turn your whole body into light right there. All right, so here we go. 250 at 5.6 at ISO 400. And we're now hitting the point where the daylight is going. And really the light on Jesse is the light that we're creating. Wow. Beautiful. We got the quality of light on Jesse that we want. We have soft studio light. And in the background, we're going to be able to bring all that sky down as the sun starts to get lower and lower. Looks amazing. Just look. Oh, that's nice. Just look. Yep. Yep. Perfect. Just like that. When it gets a tiny bit darker, I think I'm going to throw a silk over the bank just to soften it down even more. That's good. Beautiful. It's great. How can we stand and see more guitar? Maybe bring it around. Yep, good. That's nice. All right. I think I'm gonna do a little switch. You're good where you are, but this looks crazy. I learned years ago, very famous photographer named Maisel said, just when you think you have the shot, turn and look in the opposite direction. And it's a good thing to do occasionally, because look at the sky in this direction. Turn your face to me. Yep. and now we're favoring what you said was your good side. I'm not entirely sure. We'll know. Good. Nice. Great. One of the things that I like to do is it's called feathering the light, which is almost letting the light go past our subject, not directly hit them. It's sort of, it feathers past them but spills onto them in this beautiful, delicate way where it doesn't really look like it's just like bang, hitting them with this bright light. It kind of becomes a little bit more painterly that way. So the hot spot is actually of the light. If there is a hot spot, it goes past him, not right on him. Go, you know what, go uphill a little bit. Just don't want you away from that cactus, and lighting wise it's probably better anyway. Good. Cross your arms and look straight into camera. Just, yep, Head straight, there. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. All right. This is amazing. This is beautiful. This is gonna be your Joshua Tree portrait for when you leave. But every time you look at it, it's gonna make you wanna come back. Pretty beautiful. Thank you, buddy. That's a wrap. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? This thing's really pretty. Nice. My first inspiration were the photographers that I worked with in New York in the early 80s before I started shooting myself. I worked with Annie Leibovitz for 3 years. She was really my mentor. And she introduced me to a whole genre of photography I wasn't even really aware of, this idea of conceptual celebrity portraits. And after her, I worked with Robert Mapplethorpe and Stephen Maisel, both brilliant photographers, different kind of work, but also some of the greatest photographers of that generation, frankly. I was also inspired by cinema. I remember one of my early inspirations was Stanley Kubrick. My parents took me to see 2001: A Space Odyssey when I was a tiny child, and this is not a children's movie, it's a very adult movie. But even being as young as I was, I remember being struck by the images. They were photographs, and every frame was something beautiful and well composed, and you know, my young mind was somehow understanding composition. Life magazine, I remember my mother had Life magazine on the coffee table, and I used to pore through it as I was a kid, and I understood that these were photographic decisions that people were making somehow. So those were all the, you know, the early original inspirations.